Hey guys, welcome back, and today I'll be doing the next part for What If Gohan Died to Raditz. Now, I'm not going to waste too much time covering what we did last time, so let's get straight into it. Now, we join the group as they are having a conversation with the two Saiyans. Like normal, this is where Piccolo learns he's a Namekian, not a demon. Goku learns a bit more about the Saiyans this time. Vegeta being curious of who killed Raditz, with Goku stepping up and saying that he was the one who did it. This makes Vegeta suspicious as, from what he can read from Goku's power level, he doesn't even stand a chance against Raditz. Now, at this point, Vegeta is starting to question how strong these Earthlings and Goku is. So he asks Nappa to plant some Saibamen just to test out their strength. And this is where canon is going to change a little bit. Now, like normal, Yamcha does step up to the plate to fight the first Saibaman. And because he's a bit stronger, he manages to just win before the Saibaman can blow up. When it grabs hold of him, he muscles his way out and quickly kills it. Yamcha comes out of the battle relatively unharmed. He's got a few bruises and he took a little bit of damage, but nothing too major. Now, there are 5 other Saibamen remaining, and these were killed each by Krillin, Tien and Chi-Chi. Tien and Krillin actually killed 2 Saibamen, with both of them being strong enough to do this, but they have to go all out against them. Whereas Chi-Chi's fight with the Saibaman is a bit more of a struggle. She basically almost lost, almost dying to the Saibaman. However, she won using a solar flare and quickly blasting the Saibaman out of existence. Now, Vegeta got to see everyone use their max power and saw how it shot up during the fight. So he now has the understanding that they can suppress their energy and hide their true power level. During this out, Vegeta warns Nappa that they might be stronger than they let on to be. However, everyone so far has been around 2,000 or lower, explaining how they managed to kill Raditz. Now, like normal, Nappa does want to go fight everyone, and Vegeta says he can just leave Kakarot out of his fight. He's the only one he's interested in fighting. So that's what happens. Nappa begins to start fighting all of the Z fighters. However, this time Goku wants to get ready to fight Nappa as well. He doesn't want to lose anyone after losing his son only a year ago, so he gets into a fighting stance himself. However, Piccolo says to him not to get involved. This isn't a fight that you need to be a part of. Everyone here might be able to take him down. And you need to save all your energy for the bigger threat over there being Vegeta. So Piccolo begins to get into a stance, but he's also stopped by Tien, explaining that Goku's going to need every bit of help he can against a smaller Saiyan. So save all of your energy for him. We'll take care of the big Saiyan. And when this is said, Krillin, Yamcha, Chi-Chi, Gohan and Chaozu get ready to fight Nappa, with Gohan hiding behind everyone a little bit. The little bit of fighting experience he does have isn't positive, so he's not too confident about going into this fight. However, the group collectively is a lot stronger than Nappa, but are very weak individually. Now, Nappa wanted to test out the strength of the strongest in the group, charges Tien, remembering that Vegeta said he was the strongest. And he goes to hit him in the head, like he did in canon, trying to kill Tien, with Tien blocking it with his arm. It breaks his arm. However, the Earthling doesn't falter and actually uses this brief second he's got to grab hold of the tail wrapped around Nappa's waist, hoping that this would weaken the Saiyan. However, it doesn't, and like normal, they learn that the Saiyans have got over the weakness of the tail. But Tien doesn't let go. He doesn't give in for a minute, and while he's got Nappa off guard quickly, he pulls him in and headbutts the Saiyan, which actually hurts him because he wasn't expecting it, making the big Saiyan jump backwards and away from Tien. Nappa moves back a little bit. Tien takes this opportunity to grab his arm, and it really hurts. Remember, this attack actually cut through Tien's arm in canon. He was just strong enough to make it just a break at this point. Who saw this from a distance actually comments on how brave that Triclops is. Not many people would keep fighting after having their arm broke in one hit, so he actually gives Tien a bit of a compliment. However, before he can comment too much more, Goku and Piccolo stood in front of him getting ready to fight. He just sort of laughs and takes a stance as well before the 3 clash. However, we're going to cover the fight with Nappa first, and then I'll come back to these guys quite shortly. Now, over with the Z fighters, and they're getting ready to battle Nappa, with everyone being ready to protect Tien. Now, Nappa's actually pretty angry with Tien at this point, because he did a bit of a cheap tactic. However, he uses his rage to fuel his next attack to go towards Tien. However, he never makes contact. He gets close, but he's slowed down quite a bit when 2 other figures attack him. Krillin and Yamcha have tried to charge at Nappa to slow him down, and for the most part, they actually have. The two collectively are enough to hold Nappa off, and the three begin to clash with each other, with Krillin and Yamcha not really being able to do much and mostly having to play defensive, but they are getting a few decent hits in every now and again. However, once the fight takes the air, Nappa starts gaining the upper hand as he's able to throw them around a bit more freely. But this doesn't last for long. Nappa soon hears something coming in from behind himself, and then he feels a big bang on the back of his head. He turns around to see Chi-Chi, who, while the fight was happening, took the opportunity to get a flank on Nappa, and has actually punched a big Saiyan in the back of the head. And this has turned Nappa's attention away from Krillin and Yamcha, and now he's trying to turn around to grab Chi-Chi. However, before he can, Krillin and Yamcha grab hold of the Saiyan's legs and throw him towards the ground. Going towards the ground first to gain some momentum, so when the attack hits, it does a bit more damage. Now, when Nappa makes contact with the ground, it actually makes a huge smoke cloud, which then covers the area. Everyone can still figure out where Nappa is. They can sort of sense where his energy is. Nappa doesn't have that privilege, though. However, all they can feel is Nappa's energy begin to rise, and then it rushes up out of the smoke, straight towards Chi-Chi, actually. Yamcha and Krillin do try to stop him, however, Nappa just rushes through them and grabs Chi-Chi by the neck. He says that was a cheap trick and punches her straight in the gut, fight with some pride, and throws her towards the ground, just to prove a point. The other fighters, which catch her, but they get pushed back a bit. There was a lot of force put into this throw. After seeing this, Gohan actually shouts out for his mother, which Nappa hears, and he grows a really sadistic smile. He then flies straight down towards Gohan, who's actually got enough time to dodge and has the ability to avoid this attack now. But when Nappa gets close, he has a flashback of when Raditz killed him, and this makes the boy freeze up. He heard the sound of his neck being broken, then blankness, and when this happens, Nappa just kicks the boy straight in the gut, sending him straight into the air. Nappa, wanting to follow up on his attack, tries to take flight, but he doesn't. He can't seem to move too far, and even if he is moving a little bit, he's got a lot of resistance. He looks down to see Tien, Chaozu and Yamcha are all pulling down on the Saiyan, trying to stop him from chasing the child. Up in the air, Gohan's mother catches him and says, "Are you alright?" with him crying and saying he's fine, he was just a bit scared. Chi-Chi, understanding this, how much fear must be going through Gohan right now, explains that, "Why don't you head back to Master Roshi's? We'll be there soon, we'll just have to deal with these. I'm not leaving everyone here. I've trained to protect everyone, so that's what I'm going to do." Gohan, hearing this, doesn't want to leave. However, the part of him that's scared right now really does need to leave. He's a child who's experienced death much earlier on, and he shouldn't have had to go through it, so now every time he's in combat, he's going to have a little bit of fear in the back of his head. But he does eventually take his mother's advice and flies towards Kame House. He pretty much cries the whole way back to Kame House. And he wishes he had stayed, but the moment where he died just keeps replaying over and over again in his head. And for now, this is all Gohan can deal with. Now, I'm going to jump back into the fight with Nappa, who is getting pissed off at the group for holding him down, and starts blasting loads towards them, which is actually hurting them quite a bit, but they've refused to give him a chance to chase after Gohan. And then Nappa hears a noise from above him. He's then hit by a Kamehameha from Chi-Chi. Now, Chi-Chi's power level is 1495, so this plus the Kamehameha multiplier will put her power level at about 3000-ish, meaning that this will actually injure Nappa relatively well. And when it hits, he actually does stop blasting at everyone and tries to put his guard up. And because Nappa's guarding, everyone below him doesn't take any damage from the Kamehameha. They sort of use him as a meat shield. And like that, they've actually done a decent chunk of damage to him. And Nappa then does go to attack Chi-Chi again, but he's then hit by someone, sent to another person who hits him again. He's been hit by two people in a row. Well, it's one person, but two bodies. Krillin's using the multiform technique, and yes, it does half his power, but because he had an opening, and his power level split is about 1030, this will actually do some effective damage. And using the multiform technique while Nappa's off guard, he's beginning to bounce Nappa around a bit like a ping pong, just making sure he can't escape. And any time he does try to escape, Krillin gets a quick assist by Yamcha, who starts helping out Krillin doing this. Seeing an opening to charge up a big attack, Tien forms a tri-beam sign with his good hand. It's only going to be a one-handed one, but it will work. He then begins charging it up, and while Nappa is busy trying to escape this ping-pong-like situation, he just can't. Krillin and Yamcha are keeping him in there quite well. And on top of that, anytime he does get a bit too close to escaping, Chi-Chi will stop him, or Chaozu will slow him down with his telekinesis. It's not very effective, but it will work for now. And eventually, everyone stops hitting him, and he gains his balance quickly. But it's not enough time for him to escape what he hears in just 1 second afterwards. Someone shouts out, Ki Koho, and then he's blasted with an attack. And he's met with another one, and one more. He's been blasted by 3 Ki Kohos. Tien has learnt that he can probably push out about 4 before his body does start to shut down on him. So he's not going to risk doing the 4th just in case. But this 3rd Ki Koho actually killed the Saiyan. Everyone's relieved, but Tien's in a lot of pain. Not only has he taken a big attack which broke his arm, he's just dished out 3 big attacks. So he's not sure if he should just sit out the rest of the fight. Everyone does have sort of a mini celebration saying well done. They soon cut off with their celebration, but since the clash of Vegeta, Piccolo and Goku happening not too far away from them, they can nearly see them, they're not too far away. So everyone catches their breath and gets ready to fly off again. But they quickly get ready with the sensu beans to give Goku, Piccolo and Tien one. They only have 2 at the moment, but they're going to half them, obviously. Now, while that has been happening with Nappa, Goku and Piccolo's fight hasn't been going in their favour. They just can't get the upper hand against Vegeta. Doesn't matter what tactic they use, they just can't seem to beat him. They've even tried using the multi-form technique just to try and outnumber him, but he's just too strong at this point in time, and halving your power just isn't a way to beat him right now. So they've just been mostly playing defensively, hoping that everyone can beat Nappa okay. Now, the issue is Goku's also not fully in the fight. What I mean is that Goku has been watching the fight with Nappa because he doesn't want to lose anyone again. He's really shaken up by the fact he lost his son. So he's watching the fight quite carefully. And when Nappa hit Gohan, he almost left to go kill Nappa straight away. But he soon realised that Vegeta wasn't going to let him leave. So he just had to keep fighting. And another thing that's not helping is Goku has been desperately trying to awaken whatever he did against Raditz. But he can't seem to push himself to do it. He keeps falling short. But something to note is Vegeta and Piccolo are noticing that Goku's eyes every now and again will turn yellow, but it'll soon change back to its natural black. Piccolo, knowing what this is really trying to help Goku by egging him on a little bit, just trying to do something to help. But Vegeta isn't taking too much note of it and thinks it's just some sort of silly technique, or it's his eyes playing tricks on him because of all the ki that's flying everywhere. He doesn't really understand what it is. Now, I also want to say that both Piccolo and Goku are quite heavily injured. They just haven't had the chance to escape. However, they are soon saved quickly when the rest of the Z fighters show up. Krillin and Yamcha quickly take the aggro from Vegeta by solar flaring him, and Yamcha just Wolfang fisting him to get him a decent bit away. Seeing an opportunity, both Piccolo and Goku land to try and catch their breaths. And they share out a sensu bean between each other, and they give Tien 1 full sensu bean to get his arm back into commission and get most of his energy back after the Ki Kohos. And now, while everyone has been holding Vegeta, they are still trying to get some breath back, but they know they can't stay out long. They are the strongest ones there, so they need to get back into the fight quickly. Now, holding off everyone from Yamcha, Krillin, Chi-Chi and Chaozu isn't too hard for Vegeta. He far outclasses them, and even though they've got great cooperation, do outnumber him, they just can't get the advantage on him. He's so used to fighting opponents like this, it's not really a challenge. Now, they do get a few good hits in on him, and Yamcha and Krillin being the strongest are up front. Not just strongest compared to Vegeta, but they're strong enough that they can just sort of hold their own hardly. But once Tien, Goku and Piccolo get back into the mix, and they've got some of their energy back, they've had their sensu beans, they're actually at a good point. With Goku actually getting a very small Zenkai, putting his power level up from 5,800-ish to 6,200, and the three jump straight back into the fight. This puts Vegeta under some pressure. After all, he's very heavily outnumbered. A stronger Goku is now joining back, only just stronger, but it's enough to, Vegeta off guard. So now they actually do have some momentum going, and they have a little system they're using quickly right now. They've got Goku and Piccolo up front doing the most damage, trying to make sure that he doesn't gain any ground again. So they're applying the most pressure. They have Krillin, Yamcha and Tien working on the sidelines. Anytime they see he's going for an attack, they quickly jump in and just misdirect his attack. They throw him off, or sometimes they'll even use their own bodies as shields to protect Goku and Piccolo. And from a range, they've got Chaozu and Chi-Chi who are just shooting a few ki blasts every now and again. Chaozu using his telekinesis to slow him down. While they're using this plan, Vegeta is actually formulating his own. He understands that in situations like this, it's best to pick off the weak first and slowly whittle it down to the strongest man. So he knows he needs to take care of either Chi-Chi, Yamcha or Chaozu. So he knows that the distance people can't do too much damage anymore. So he's going to wait for his opening and take it. And like that, he does find his opening. Goku misses an attack and no one's there to cover him this time. So Vegeta, seeing an opportunity, quickly punches Goku straight in the face, then punches him in the stomach, grabs Goku's body and throws him into Piccolo. And by hitting Piccolo, he's thrown them out of the battle quickly. While they're falling, he shoots the smallest and fastest ki blast he can muster up and actually hurts them quite a bit. Yamcha, Tien and Krillin are now getting ready to hold him off just until the other two get back. However, he's actually dodging them with quite a good bit of ease, and at some point grabs hold of Yamcha's face and uses a full power blast straight onto Yamcha, killing the bandit straight away and sending him miles away to the floor. Krillin and Tien are unsure of how to react. They're sort of in shock. This is the first death that's happened. But while they're hesitating, Vegeta takes the opportunity to charge through them, destroying Chaozu when he gets to him. He turns to Chi-Chi and doesn't waste a second. He goes and kicks her straight in the face, with her dodging it only just. It hits her still, but it doesn't hit her dead on. And this isn't enough to save her. He then begins to wail on her, hitting her. He just won't give her an opportunity to escape. She's holding her own and she manages to land one hit or two maybe, but it hasn't got the power or speed. And it doesn't help that she stopped training for a while. And at some point, she passes out. Vegeta stops thinking he's killed her and throws her to the floor. Vegeta takes a moment and looks at his handiwork. And he's quite proud of himself. He managed to kill 3 of them in quite a short time. He can't sense the fact that Chi-Chi is actually still only just hanging on to life. Goku and Piccolo, who are now getting back into the fight, who, after gaining some breath back, they realise what's happened, and in the few seconds they've been out of the fight, they see Yamcha and Chaozu are dead, and they can see Chi-Chi's only just alive. Piccolo and Krillin and Tien are trying to figure out what to do. They're now 3 people down, and they were only just barely winning when they had all of them there. How are they going to cover it now? And then they sense Goku, and this is it. This is the final stretch for Goku. He's finally snapped. His eyes begin to turn yellow, his energy rising very fast, like it did against Raditz years ago. Piccolo, knowing what this is happy, but he wishes it activated earlier. He has a smile on his face and he looks for Vegeta. He tells everyone, just grab the bodies and let's get out of here. Vegeta, who from a distance, it looks like Goku's crying to him, mocks Goku, saying he's weak, saying he's not worthy of being a Saiyan, and says that he's a disgrace to his old lineage, and that his family is weak, and once he's done with him, he's going to go kill his son. And then Vegeta, before he can even catch his breath after the sentence, is met with a punch straight to the face. And this punch was so powerful, it sent a shockwave out behind Vegeta's head. Vegeta then goes flying, but before he went too far, he meets eyes with Goku, and sees his eyes aren't the same as the same person he was been fighting. He sees a yellow rage, a bloodlust in Goku's eyes. And at this point, Goku then begins to very easily destroy Vegeta. It's not really a fight at this point, it's sort of a slaughtering. Vegeta doesn't have a chance to breathe, and he's soon getting pummeled into the ground. And before he manages to gain the smallest bit of ground, he blasts a ki beam down onto the floor and jumps up away from Goku. However, while he's mid-air, Goku grabs his leg and throws him straight into the sky. And at this point, Goku begins to charge up the biggest Kamehameha we've seen in the show at this point in time. And while he's charging it, Vegeta's desperately trying to come up with a plan to do something. He can't sense what Goku's doing, but he understands that if he doesn't do something soon, this Saiyan, this low-class warrior, will kill him. And he's finally comes up with the idea to make a fake moon as fast as he can. And once Goku starts to sense that he's transforming, he just fires. And it disintegrates Vegeta. He never stood a chance. Goku is enraged. He's angry. He's 10 times stronger than he ever was. And once that's done, once everyone can sense Vegeta's gone, Goku looks over to his friends, who are a bit away. He flies over to them, and everyone's happy that he's alright. They look at him, and they sort of give a smile and say, "Well done, Goku. We'll sort everything out in a bit," sort of thing. But when he lands, everyone thinks he looks different. It doesn't look like Goku. The only one who can make a connection to what it looks like is Krillin. He looks at Goku's eyes and he remembers the time he saw Goku turn into an Ozaru many years ago, and how deranged and aggressive the monkey was. And it scares Krillin. He actually moves back a little bit, getting ready to fly or run or do something. But before Goku does anything, he passes out. Maybe it was from ki drain, maybe it was from fatigue, but everyone lets out a sigh of relief. Not everyone knew what was happening as well as Krillin did, but they understood that something bad was about to happen. However, like normal, Goku is fine. He's much better off than he was in canon, and they take everyone to the hospital like canon. People who took the most injuries is probably Goku and Chi-Chi. Piccolo was arguably just as badly hurt, but he has his own healing, so he's alright. Now, Krillin actually keeps the information of what he figured out about Goku's new transformation to himself. He doesn't want to scare everyone yet. Like normal, everyone's going to spend some time in hospital. Even though most of their injuries aren't as bad as in canon, he still took quite a bit of a beating, and Goku's very fatigued, so he needs a bit of time to rest. Everyone at Kami House shows up to the hospital. Gohan apologises for leaving and not saying to help everyone. Maybe people could have survived if he didn't. He feels a bit responsible for being a coward. However, everyone says that it's fine. You're just a child. You shouldn't have had to go through anything you've been through within the last year. And Gohan then says that next time something like this happens, he will be helpful. He promises. Everyone then sort of laughs and says, hopefully next time isn't for a while. While they all sort of just, actively pray that something like this won't happen for a little bit. Now, like normal, they still can't wish Chaozu back with the Earth Balls. They haven't been upgraded yet, so they can wish people back from the dead who have already died. So, like normal, Krillin makes a connection between Piccolo and Namekians, so, like normal, they are still going to be going to Namek. Bulma's still learning the Namekian language and still, building the ship. So that's still going on normally. But later on, while Goku's pretty much healed and just spending time to be there with Chi-Chi and Gohan, Krillin asks Goku if he can speak to him outside, and he explains to him that it's important. When they get outside, he explains to Goku about his transformation and what the connection Krillin has made about his transformed state is. He says that, you won't remember it, Goku, but a long time ago, when you had your tail, you would turn into a giant monkey, and you did it once at the World Martial Arts Tournament. I remember the look in your eyes so well, because it was a look of anger and just murder. But when you woke up, you didn't remember it. He says to Goku, do you remember anything about what happened during the fight with Vegeta? Or when you came over to us? And did you have control, Goku? Goku looks at him and says, honestly, no. He remembers flashes, but nothing too important. All he remembers is, before he blacked out, a deep feeling of rage. Almost like it was primal. He just wanted everything to die. But he explains to Krillin that he didn't have control. He doesn't remember anything. And honestly, he doesn't even remember killing Vegeta. When this is explained, Krillin is scared. This is a scary thing for him to hear, because Ozaru was a monster. It was stronger than everyone, and now again it is stronger than everyone there. Krillin then says you need to be careful using that, Goku. But Goku looks to his friend and says, don't worry, I'll get this new form under control in no time. Krillin wasn't expecting such a positive response from Goku after he's been down quite a bit recently. But he does trust Goku to do it. If anyone could do it, it is Goku. And that's really the end of this conversation. Krillin is nervous about Goku's new form, but he doesn't want to stop Goku from getting it, because it did just save them today. So he's just going to keep an eye on Goku, that's all, and maybe he'll do some talking to Kami about things. Now, like I said, for the most part, things are going to go down like they did in canon. The only difference is Goku's never done a day of gravity training in his life, so there's going to be no gravity thing. So they're probably just going to take the Namekian ship. But I also want to ask everyone something. Chi-Chi won't take too long to heal, and she should be back into fighting shape before they leave for Namek. Does anyone want Chi-Chi to go to Namek with the group? At the moment, pretty much everyone is going, other than her. So let me know if people would like to see that. I think, if I've done it right, there should be a poll where you can vote for it. Let me know if you want Chi-Chi to go, because I kind of like the idea of Chi-Chi being a fighter, but I don't know, we'll see how that goes. But for the most part, I'm going to leave it here with everyone recovering in the hospital. So what does everyone think? How do you like this part? I know this part has gone out for a little bit, too long. And I'm trying to get better at making some of the less interesting parts a bit shorter, and I think I have done that quite successfully. But for the most part, I'm going to try and make fights a bit more interesting, because that's some of the best bits, so let's be real. I am enjoying this What If, and I hope everyone else is enjoying watching it, because I love writing it, and I love doing all of the work for it. So I hope everyone has a good day or a great night, and hopefully you'll join me again.